In this video, I'm going to make sense of how it makes sense that consciousness is an illusion. And I'm going to present a new formulated way of explaining in hopes that it will remove any inconsistencies to our understanding. First thing to see is that the goal is not to be aware of awareness all day. We're not trying to be aware of being all day. We're not trying to reside in being, abide in awareness. We take these steps because they are necessary inward steps. So we don't look to just be aware of awareness all day. We're taking steps towards ourselves. Think about it. These are just going in the direction of truth that is different to focusing on objects. So in ignorance, we look at the world. We say, where is my happiness? Let me find it in the world. Then we realize happiness doesn't come from the world, it goes within. Then we start saying, what is the nature of myself? Then we start getting philosophical, but the purpose of the philosophy is to remove our suffering. Then we start to stop removing our suffering, at least if you're on a good trajectory, this is what will happen. You stop trying to change your suffering and you start to get interested in the truth. Then you look within and you realize, oh, I am actually consciousness and I'm not the world that I think I perceive. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I am this consciousness. But then once we explore the world, we realize, explore ourselves, we realize that there is no actual world. And we're not going to go into too much detail, I've explained this in other videos, but we realize that the world is not outside me, I am not outside the world, and the world is not inside me. Basically, what we call the world is just made of perception. Perception is made of mind, mind is made of consciousness. We don't perceive through a body into a world. The body doesn't have compartments, and through these ears I hear a sound. The body is itself inside the field of perception, and the field of perception is inside consciousness. So there's no world, body, and mind. World, body, mind, they are the same experience, and that experience is not an experience of an actual world. So in the same way that you're seeing my face on the screen right now, that is not an experience of my face, that's an experience of your screen. That's the reality behind it. In the same way, when we're experiencing the world, we're not experiencing the world, we're experiencing the screen of our mind. And the screen of our mind is consciousness. Now, we use the word consciousness to point inwardly. We use it to say, it isn't something objective. It is something that is non-objective. And this is when we take a turn towards ourselves. And we say, so instead of going in the direction of the world, I'll go in the direction of awareness. And this is where we hear Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta talk about going towards the I, the place that the I refers. That place that the I refers is the absolute. It's the absolute zero-dimensional plane of not even existence to claim there's non-existence. And from this place, there's no awareness in the sense that what would render awareness knowable? There's no completeness because what would render completeness complete? There's no wholeness because what would give definition to wholeness? There's nothing that we can claim is something because there actually isn't anything other than it. So we can't say, we use words like it's non-dual. We use words like it's whole, complete, fulfilled, zero-dimensional, relative to dimensions, relative to other things. In reality, there never was the coming into being of dimensions and things to begin with. That never actually happens. There's no objects to be aware of. There was never a witness of a world to begin with. To witness a world, you have to have something standing apart from something observing it. There is no three-way channel. There's no observer, body, mind, and world. They are literally the same thing which isn't a thing that never actually comes into being, in the same way that a wave, the water never becomes the ocean and the ocean never becomes the wave. So to say the wave is the ocean and the ocean is the water is a preliminary, it's a concession. In the same way that we say the world isn't the world, it's perception. The perception isn't the mind, it's consciousness. Consciousness then is the only thing that exists. But if consciousness is the only thing that exists, what is there to be aware of in order to render awareness aware? You see? However, we know that there is the experience of awareness in the absence of objects by rendering the fact that there is inference of awareness to begin with. And if we can have the experience of awareness without there needing to be an object, then we can claim that there is autonomy to awareness. In other words, awareness doesn't require anything. It's not a subset of being. It's not some kind of manifestation or illusion of being. It's only illusory from the point of view that we're referring to being aware of the world. And if we believe that awareness requires an experience of a world or a mind or something in order to be aware, then it is as though awareness is illusory. And from that point of view, the absolute is higher than awareness. Awareness is a substratum, an illusion of being, an illusion of the absolute, an illusory experience that just shines on something that isn't there. But the most important thing to understand, and this is what I learned from Francis Lucille, the experience of inference is, if there's smoke over the hill, I see the smoke, therefore I know that there's a fire. So basically it's looking at evidence of something else to make proof of something else. I can prove there's a fire if I can see the smoke. I don't need to see the fire. But knowing that there's a fire because there's smoke is inference, meaning I have previously had the experience of seeing the fire and knowing smoke comes from the fire, to even know and render the inference as legit. So basically, I only know smoke comes from a fire because I've experienced the fire. If I never experienced the fire, I would never know smoke comes from it. I would see the smoke and go, what even is smoke? Because if I hadn't seen a fire, I would probably never have seen smoke either. So I see the smoke and I go, I know there's a fire there because I've experienced smoke coming from a fire before. Now, when we talk about awareness being in the world, and awareness being dependent on experience. Basically, if I was to ask you the question, well, how, are you aware? You'd say yes. I'd say how? You'd say, well, because I can see the world. I know this is there. I can see things. I hear sounds. We're basically saying I'm aware because there is a world. And we think that awareness is something that is only there when the world appears. And if there's no world, there's no awareness, and awareness is just an illusory experience. However, it's not. We're actually aware of awareness even when there is nothing there. It's just there's nothing there to be aware of, which means awareness is autonomous. And the only reason we know that is very simple. We're aware of awareness without there needing to be an object. How do we know? Because we can infer. If you can infer the possibility that I am aware of awareness because there is a world, so I am aware because the world exists and because there is a mind, you must have previously had the experience of awareness to even render the fact that you know that, in the same way that if you've seen smoke, and you know it comes from a fire, you must have previously had the experience of seeing the smoke come from the fire. Well, you can only infer awareness comes from the world if you've previously had the experience of awareness without the world. You can't do it otherwise. You can't infer that unless you've had the experience of awareness. If you've had the experience of awareness has to come with the package as not being aware of awareness in the respect of being with the world. It has to be the experience of awareness. If you've had the experience of awareness, which you have had, albeit you might not have noticed it, then it is its own experience, meaning you don't use the world to have that experience. You don't access the world. You don't think, oh, there's a thought, now I'm aware of awareness. There's just an awareness that awareness exists. Now, the goal is not to stay there. You don't try to be aware of awareness all day like that's some kind of spiritual conquest. We just recognize awareness is unlimited. And from that point of view, we realize I don't need to be aware of awareness all day. Awareness is the substratum of experience. And if awareness is the substratum of experience, it's the same as saying the absolute is the substratum of experience, which on an ultimate level, there is no experience to be a substratum of. So from the highest point of view, nothing exists. There's no coming into being, there's no manifestation, there's no world. Absolutely nothing ever was or is. But that means that the thing that we're referring to, never was or is actually that which is. You see? And that which is the experience of everything that we could ever possibly experience. This is the paradox. This is the loop. And to the capacity we have to comprehend that is the capacity and depth of our understanding. And that understanding is what's going to shine into the world in all your relationships and give you basically an amazing life. And we forget this when we're on this path. We think that this isn't something I should strive for. We should be enjoying life. This is what we're doing. And listening to people who completely destroy any sense of self or individuality is a load of nonsense, because what we're actually experiencing is relationship and love. And even though they are illusory experiences, as reality, why would we not give them reality? As reality, we can do that, you see? So people try to deny the existence of an individual self, and that's true. There is no individual self. But if someone's telling you that, they were already admitting and giving credit and reality to a reality where they are talking to somebody else. So anyone who says, there is no me here, nothing's there, this is all the absolute, or there's not even the absolute, or there's not even existence or non-existence, there's just happening. Well, the thing that's happening is that you're talking to someone. That's what's happening. In that reality, even if you know that's not the ultimate truth, there's still a possibility for you to create the reality as though you're talking to someone. And they deserve their own level of respect. So on those levels of reality, we can actually exist as an individual and enjoy that as much as we enjoy being reality. So as reality, we can experience all dimensions, and that is our skill. That's our day job. Our day job isn't to be absolutely non-existence, because clearly, if that person there is saying there is absolutely no one, everything is just a relationship with objects, well, the objects are something to claim there is an object. So something is there experiencing it, and something has to go and take a shit, something has to go and buy groceries and eat things, and even if we deny that we're doing that, I can guarantee you that person's having the experience of doing that, no matter how much they deny it. So no matter how much we deny that there isn't really a wave, and it's all just the water, or there's not even the water, we're still surfing the waves, man. We're still going to be surfing the waves. So it's important to give that level of respect to that level, even if it's an illusion, even if it's not really there. It's important to give it that level of respect, because that's exactly what we're doing. So it's important to have the capacity for complete unrestricted limitation to also then engage in the limitation, just like we would do a game. A game is an imaginary, made-up illusion where there's fake limitations that we enjoy, measuring ourselves against the capacity of stretching the boundaries of those limitations. We enjoy that. There's no coincidence there. So you, as an individual, don't ultimately exist. But that doesn't mean you can't experience and enjoy individuality. It's actually your individuality that is enhanced with correlation to your capacity not to get lost in the individual. For you to actually harness individuality and to enjoy all the experiences that we're having with full existential zest. Not this dull, blah, 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 that's just an absolute, blah, blah, blah. It's just another way of avoiding reality, is to overtly avoid any sense of giving credit to other seeming illusions. The fact that there's birds tweeting is an illusion. Does that make me not enjoy? Does that make me go, oh, it's not really there? I enjoy all of it without hesitation, without restriction, without blinking twice. Why? Because it doesn't limit me. So why wouldn't I enjoy it? I enjoy all movies. Why? Because they don't limit me. So why wouldn't I enjoy them? I enjoy all games because they don't really limit me. You see? So I hope this video was helpful. I have a free community. The link's in the description. I would love to see you there. Have an amazing day, guys. Take care.